And just like that, Green Bay seems to have yet another franchise quarterback. This time a year ago, questions around Jordan Love's future swirled at Packers training camp.
There's a tremendous amount of pressure on Jordan Love.
There's so much uncertainty with
I don't think
this
anyone
kid.
considers them a Super Bowl contender without Aaron Rodgers.
Consider them answered.
A big-time belief in that locker room for Jordan Love.
End zone pass caught. Touchdown.
All of them.
Love fires the middle. Touchdown.
In his first full season as a starter, Love finished in the top 10 in QBR and passing yards, and second in passing touchdowns. Love at first real sight culminated in a complete destruction of the Cowboys in his playoff debut.
What a story. Jordan Love. What a day.
A week later in San Francisco, the Packers came within a quarter of the NFC title game, but far more than stats reveal the love that Love spawned. It's love that presents itself at the absolute perfect time, as the NFC North barrels towards the most fascinating division in football. The love around Love, his talent, and the possibilities from it could mean the sky is merely a pit stop on the way to Nirvana. Unwaverable confidence comes with having a perennial All-Pro at quarterback, and over the last 30 years, no fan base has been blessed with such consistent quarterback play from multiple quarterbacks quite like Green Bay.
Green Bay Packers are world champions!
Jordan Love already has the belief of a fan base. Now comes the hard part, longevity. With Love, following the likes of Favre or Rodgers isn't the story. His story is being written right now, and it's our job to let the pages compose themselves. First round pick, back up to older star, and now the face of an iconic American team. Love might be patient, Love might be kind, but Love is definitely here, and Love isn't cheap. So what's Love got to do with it? For the Packers, hopefully the next decade, and then some. That is, after all, the expectation around these parts.
Good stuff there from Justin Tinsley. Jordan Love excelled in a few areas last year, but maybe none more than against man coverage. He had a 24-to-1 touchdown to INT ratio against man. That's the best in the NFL. Also, over half his stats ended with a stat line of 2 or more passing touchdowns and no picks. His 9 such games were the most by any player in the NFL last season. Head coach Matt LaFleur on Love's growth, despite not playing early in his career, very similar to the guy he replaced in Aaron Rodgers.
I think if you just look at the history, whether it was Jordan or Aaron or even Pat Mahomes sat his rookie year for the majority of it. I think, would he have 1 start? I think there's a lot of good, a lot of benefit to allowing these guys to come in this league to try to soak it all in and not play too early. I mean, it was with Kirk Cousins and saw the benefits of that in Washington. So I think there's a lot of good examples across the league of guys coming in, kind of waiting their turn a little bit.
Back here with Field Yates, we have seen this work with Mahomes and Love and a handful of other quarterbacks. How come we don't see more of this watch and learn process for first-round picks?
So, Kevin, I think that general managers are willing to see this process out, right? By nature, general managers have that long-range lens often in mind when they are drafting players. Head coaches might take a little more time to come around, but they often see it as well. You know who doesn't see it, though? Owners. The people that are writing the checks that want to have jam-packed stadiums sold out with merchandise being pushed left and right. I think the Packers might have the advantage here, obviously, of having done this before, right? It worked out masterfully with Brett Favre eventually ceding the spot to Aaron Rodgers. But also, Mark Murphy, the president, the outgoing president, and Brian Gutekunst, the GM, and Matt LaFleur, they don't answer to an owner. They don't have to say, well, you know, we're not getting the job done and you might fire me as a result of it, right? I think it is a very different dynamic. Most importantly is the fact that they have done it before. There is a track record there, but I do think there's a very unique pressure that hits GMs and coaches far too early in their tenures, which is these owners that grow impatient and say, why can't I have the overnight success that we do see from time to time around the NFL?
And we got to add context here specifically because it worked for Mahomes because you had a very good quarterback in Alex Smith.
Sure.
It worked for Rodgers because you had a very good quarterback in Brett Favre. It works now for Jordan Love because you had a very good quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Not going to do that potentially if you don't have a good quarterback there sitting there, like you said, where you get the pressure from the owners because no one's showing up to the games. Why is this working, Damien Woody, in Green Bay?
Well, listen, I always talk about environment and structure. And when you look at the Green Bay Packers, obviously Matt LaFleur has done a hell of a job of coaching that team, particularly as far as developing the quarterbacks and the young skill around them. Look at what they surrounded Jordan Love with. I mean, you're talking about a young array of receivers and tight ends. They don't really have a number one, although Dontavius Wicks might be that guy. But they got a bunch of young guys. The youngest group of skill position players in the National Football League, and they're only going to get better. I'm also going to throw this other caveat at you as well. Jeff Hafley, their new defensive coordinator, I think is going to come in and is going to light a fire on this Green Bay Packers defense. So you combine those aspects. This Green Bay Packers team, boy, this is an exciting team, a trendy team that could possibly represent the NFC.
It is amazing, though, because we use this example now, certainly after the stretch that Jordan Love had, albeit a very small, compartmentalized stretch of success, as an example to Fields' point of the way it can work if you put a quarterback on the sideline for several years. And yet after this year's draft, we completely eviscerate and blast the Falcons for essentially doing exactly that. And that is the pressure that comes with a decision like this. In fact, we actually spent the first 3 years of Jordan Love's career crushing Brian Gutekunst for doing exactly that and not getting Aaron Rodgers a weapon. So we ask ourselves, why doesn't this happen? Because look what happened to the Atlanta Falcons. Look what happened to the Green Bay Packers. It is easier said than done, guys.
No doubt. That's a fair point. There's a lot of people in New England saying we need to do that with Drake May. Let him develop, let him blossom a little bit. By watching Jacoby Brissett, we'll see if the Patriots do something like that. All right.